Good day, everybody, and welcome to Between Plays. Listen, everyone, we've been off for a while. For anyone that's been on the Telegram and stuff like that, know that after the PDAC, ended up catching really nasty COVID. And but behind the scenes, like I'm always doing, we're trying to always get new things, get things going. And well, look, now we have something that's new, that's going to be recurring. It's going to be interesting. More than one person. Look, honestly, for today, we're going to talk to Mr. Alex over here, and this is going to be our version of Between Plays Crypto with Alex. And we're going to have more coming up. Don't want to really put out some names. I know we got an interview coming up with John Kaiser for mid-August. We'll be working for something else in September as well. We have other people that have been coming up in the panels and stuff like that. Now to recuperate, now we can go to the next thing. So let's go. Let's get this going. So here we go today, Between Plays Crypto with Alex. Welcome, Alex, to Between Plays. How you doing, man?
Fantastic, Albert. Amazing to be doing this now.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Hey, I've been wanting to get you on here for a long time, but now we're here, we're together. So you know what? That's all that counts, and that's all that matters. And you know what's really cool is that, like, I know this is our first show that we're going to be doing together, and it's going to be a recurring show. So maybe we take it a little bit light, a little bit easy, and just talk about maybe crypto in general if you want, stuff like that. Like, what got you interested in crypto, anyways, to begin with? Just talking about, because like I'm pretty much the naysayer over here, right? I mean, people are watching this, are gonna be like, "Oh no, Albert, don't do this. Don't put yourself in this position." But the thing is that I have a hard time with crypto. Like, look, I'm invested in crypto. I mean, I'm in the graph. I'm in certain cryptos. Like, I'd have to actually look at my portfolio. I haven't watched it in a while just because of the fact that everything's tanking, right? And I just don't want to see it. But the thing is that like, what made you, like, are you a believer? Is there history to this? Is there something that we need to know about? Like, what do you think? What's your take on this, man?
I totally understand you, and that's one of the reasons why I've been looking at it from the sideline. I mean, I've been looking at it once it was at $1. But back in the day, first of all, one of the reasons why you don't really believe in it is because it's not really tangible, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing you can really hold in your hand. It's not really anything that's
Yeah.
really out there right now, and all the big companies aren't necessarily in it. So it's pretty scary, it's pretty scary stuff. It's like the wild, wild west out there, and that's what crypto is, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's true that it's because it's not tangible, because I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm always trying to be as honest as possible on the show, and well, that's as honest as possible. I'm always going to be honest on the show. But look, I had an opportunity to get into Bitcoin in like 2012. I don't even want to say what it was at 2012, because some people are like, "Oh, I could have gone in at $10." No, listen, I could have got in at under $1. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not take advantage of it. I didn't understand it. I wasn't really interested. I was like, well, who's going to buy this? I think back in those days, it was the Big Bang Theory. It was like, all, the nerd world was coming out, the Big Bang Theory, Bazinga and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh, maybe then, maybe certain digital people will buy it just for themselves to say they have something in their world. And it just became something completely different. Like, it's in our world.
So it started, what I like about cryptography or crypto, when I started, to dabble into it, it's I believe it's the next step of the internet. Okay. And I know I'm young, but I remember when I was 12, 13 years old, my neighbor got into stocks, and I started to invest in the small little money I had in those in those tech stocks, that new thing, what the big boys would say, is gambling, the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was such a tiny little thing. And then I saw my portfolio going up and up and up and up, and then crashing down and crashing down. And so I was always interested in, the technology side of things and the internet. I grew up with the internet, the generation I am. And I really saw crypto as being the next step, the next evolution, the next step that the internet has to do and it has to go through. And it has to be through crypto. One of the reasons is, back in the day, I started investing put a bit of money in this small little company, that sold books back then, that Barnes and Nobles was supposed to destroy,
Okay, you mean
Amazon? Called Amazon. and and even back then I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea, it's fantastic, right? But am I really going to put all my personal information on the internet that's
Oh
going to be
yeah.
sent out?
Uh,
And you never know who's going to get your information. Am I going to get frauded? Am I going to this? Am I that?
no, yeah.
So
Most like, look, you're not alone on that boat. I was on that boat. Everybody was on that boat. You put all your credit card stuff, and don't forget, there was a lot of credit card fraud.
well, there
So of
still
course
is.
we had reason to be weary.
Absolutely. And there still is a lot of credit.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the reasons why I'm also right now big into crypto is that look at the companies, the big companies, that are into it. I said, right before, not a lot of big companies are into it. Well, actually, it's not true. The big ones that are into it are what? Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. So all the companies that are into, that got into the payment system of the internet are invested in crypto.
Yeah.
They started, so because they see an advantage. They see what I saw as a scared little 13-year-old or 14-year-old back in the day of well, is my hard-earned money gonna go flush into the toilet because someone's gonna steal it? Well,
Yeah.
cryptography, I think crypto settles it, or makes it's gonna settle it. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying, because yeah, so the trading. So basically what we're saying is that because of the fact that, if we just go back a little bit and we look at the whole ensemble of what we're saying here, is that because we were using credit cards before, we ended up being afraid of certain things, like maybe the investing in certain way, because are you going to put, we didn't really believe in it, like, oh yeah, everybody's going to put their, look, I was one of them, man. I could have bought from Amazon in 2010, but I didn't want to put my credit card information on there. But in the 2012, and I honestly believe it's all because of Apple. I honestly believe it's all because of Apple, because Apple, when they came out with the iPhones and stuff like that and apps,
Yeah.
everybody just started to advance drastically, and all of a sudden you had PayPal, right? And PayPal, that's what settled it for me. I mean, I didn't have a problem giving PayPal my information as being an intermediary, since they were like, look, if you get frauded or if there's a transaction that's necessary way, we're going to protect you and all this kind of stuff, right? So I was like, oh, fine. So even if I wanted to buy from not just Amazon, but from anyone, but I'm going through PayPal, I felt more secure. And then all of a sudden the internet world opened up, right? So now what you're saying is this, that giving up our credit cards and stuff like that wasn't the answer. Then we went to PayPal, which is sort of like an intermediary, right? Which made us more secure, trustworthy, whatever, which is normal. All right. But now what you're saying is that, well, we're moving into this crypto world, right? Which pretty much we can do transactions by ourselves and we don't have to worry. We
Well, I
don't
mean,
need the internet. We don't really need like PayPal's and stuff if we're into this new world where the internet can just go through like the crypto world. Like the crypto
well,
world sort of protects us.
I think actually we can use PayPal because the proof is PayPal actually bought some Bitcoin and you can
Yeah.
buy and sell Bitcoin. But I think that through the intermediary of PayPal, you can use crypto,
Okay.
which is a more secure way of sending information.
Okay.
I think and you brought a good point. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people said the apps and everything like that was the second evolution of the internet, right?
Oh yeah, big
The
time.
2.0, as they say.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and 100% agree. Because back in the day, the first World Wide Web was Wild Wild West, right?
Oh
Because that's
yeah,
what it
I
was.
remember. I remember those days. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that. I remember that because it's true. It was like crazy. But do you
yeah,
remember how like it was so my God, it was so basic compared to now.
oh yeah, absolutely,
Different
absolutely.
different world.
Yeah. But now what we're getting is the internet is there's like these economists that would say back in the day the internet is no better than the fax machine, right?
Oh
Well,
God.
some high up guys, some I won't name them, but
Yeah.
some very smart economic people that would say that. But now the internet is everything, right?
Oh,
And
it's everything.
we have to, as individuals and companies as well, they have to find ways to secure themselves and do it more in a better way, basically. And
You know,
that's what cryptology brings.
so we're talking about we're talking about now, like, how some economists were saying back in the day, like it's like the fax machine. Okay, fuck.
Yep.
Anyways, I swore, but we'll bleep that one out. But like, come on, because I just wanted to emphasize the point that it's so not the same at all. Like, this world that we have now with the internet is a world within. There's worlds within worlds, right? With the internet now, it's absolutely insane. Where we
Yep.
and I know we're going to be eventually talking about
Yep.
NFTs and metaverses, and that's going to be like
Yep.
later on and stuff like that. But the economists that whoever that you're speaking about didn't see the future. But the thing is, what I'm like, we were talking before getting on here. We're talking, and you were saying that there's a history that crypto goes way back. Like, it's not like as if it's a brand new idea. It's like sort of an evolution or something like that, right?
Right. Well,
Like,
basically,
what do you mean by that? Like, was it something pre World War II? Is it something that came out? I know a lot of stuff came out of World War II. So, or is it even older than that? I think we were talking about the Turing system. Was that the Turing system that we were trying to talk? I don't know, but what do you think? Like, it's not new, this idea, or
well, basically crypto, right? So it's pretty obvious it's for cryptography. So
yeah,
it's pretty old. I mean, back in the day when there was a message that has to be sent, obviously the internet didn't exist. Obviously the phones didn't exist. So
no,
when one faction had to send information to the other, especially if it was important, from one king to the other, they have to send some information. They'd have to make sure that if ever the enemy grabs onto it, right, that they wouldn't be able to decipher the whole message.
that's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
so that idea of hiding words within words was the beginning of cryptography. Then after that, it went up tenfold during the World Wars, especially World War II.
Yeah, that was yeah, that one, that was like the top of the top. World War II. I mean, they made movies on it, right? With Benedict Cumberbatch. I think it was about
right.
the Turing system. I think it was called
Right.
the system. We'd have to look that up, but
yeah. So basically, yeah, that's it. Then it just went tenfold up, right? And then all that information just didn't stop there. It just kept on going and going and going, but out of the public eye. And then, well, actually, this bring case in point to the beginning of our conversation. Then comes in the marriage between the internet and cryptography, right? Crypto, because as soon as the internet came out, that's when it was leaked, if you wish, some of the information
yes.
on cryptography that was gained through time.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's this small group of people, the CryptoPunks, or the this I'd say fringe or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That came up with this information and said, listen, there's potential with the advent of internet, and we have to build on something. And so they came up with the idea. They wanted to create e-gold, this type of currency that would be able to use, peer-to-peer on the internet. Didn't really work out for a long time. Some ideas came in, some didn't work out. And because basically big money was into it, right? The big money was into all sorts of stuff, Dow Jones, etc. But some of that big money was going more to the World Wide Web, the NASDAQ, the emerging NASDAQ, and then the crash and burn that we saw right afterwards. And then after that, when came the time of the 08 crash, when people didn't really believe in institutions and keeping their money in the safe places and stuff like that.
Big banking crashes, real estate, just everything was going down.
Right.
And too big to fail came out of that too, right?
Right. So then people, they didn't have faith in the system,
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And well, you saw it, in the stock market. I mean, the clients, or the normal money, as you say,
Yeah.
They were out of the market. Only institutions were still in the market. So Bitcoin came out, and it came out as this new blockchain crypto technology.
It's true. I never made the link that it came right out of that, because I never made that connection. That's true, because out of all, they always say, like, out of, like, disasters that are created or whatever, something new will emerge, right?
Absolutely.
Will come out.
Yeah, I think it's chaos theory or something.
Yeah, chaos theory.
Yeah, and so that's it. So Bitcoin, the creation of it, whoever created it, was it one person? Was it many people? Who knows?
No.
I certainly don't know. In that famous white paper, it basically says that it's open sourced. So that means that one of the problems of the '08 crisis was that everything was hidden between people or companies or whatnot, and that only insiders knew, right? And insiders were able to get out, and money was hidden from the people, from everything, right?
Yeah.
So the goal of blockchain and open base was that everyone could see what happens, right? So let's say person A sends information to person B. It's not necessarily going to be written, Albert sends it to Alex, but it's going to written, your information where you are to me and whatnot.
Absolutely, 100%. And I just recently did that with man, I can't even remember it. That's just ridiculous. I can't remember the name. So that's just to show you like how everything is crashing so hard, and we put our money in so many different little places. I can't even remember the name of my God, Safe Moon. All right, Safe Moon.
Gosh,
they were doing V2 and stuff like that, and then you have to you got to take it, and then you got to bring it to the V2. So, and you'll see that it's coming from this account to this account. But you see everything, and so even if I was doing it from me to you, you to me, or someone to someone, exactly. You got the whole long number, and then you got the host, and you see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly,
absolutely, yeah.
So that was the whole point of it, right? And then it grew, and actually they're giving it away, right? Beginning Bitcoin, they're just giving it away to people.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin in the beginning, like I was saying, I don't even,
one pizza was $10,000 or something, or
I could have put like $1,000 in it, and I would have had I don't even know. I think I was at I don't even want to say it. It was like at a quarter. Yeah. But anyways, that's just crazy. I don't even. Anyways, whatever. I mean, look, you live, you learn. But the thing is that it's crazy because even though, it makes sense. It makes sense that that to have a system in place where all the transactions are noted in such a way that, because they keep on trying to say that this is also a way to curb, the underground community, right? But you got to wonder, is there not always another way? Is it not like, if we eliminate, cash, is there not another way? I don't know. Like, if someone creates a different coin or something like that, and it could be just, given out that, I don't know. I still have a hard time until the governments say, we are eliminating all cash. We are only going digital. And this is going to be it. And you're going to have this for North America, this for South America, this for Europe, or it's going to be, it's going to be like the US dollar token, or the the Canadian token. And, we go digital. Each nation has its own currency in digitized form. And or is it going to be like the whole one world government, and we're going to have one for the whole planet, which comes down to like, I just got the book The Great Reset there from Klaus Schwab, and I'm reading that just because everybody that, I say it all the time, everybody that's on here, if you're investing, or if whatever, just knowledge, you got to read everything. But it makes sense, even if I have a hard time to understand which one it's going to be. Is it going to be like Bitcoin? Is it going to be Ripple? Is it going to be something that there, because Bitcoin, it's almost like gold, right? You have the limited supply, therefore it gives it value. Or not, or actually, it makes sense that we will go digital one day. It makes sense because if you go back hundreds of years, we didn't have money, right? Okay, the Roman Empire, yeah, you had coins and whatever. Let's go even before coins and stuff. We would barter, right? I mean, how many goats or how many sheeps for this or whatever. So the transactions were always heavy. Then at one point, we went gold. If you look at the cowboy movies, I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid. Exactly. And it would like cling, cling, cling. And you want to buy it, you don't want to buy the saloon. You just want to buy a few drinks, and then it's like cling, this heavy little bag that just falls on there. Like, really, I mean, so it's only normal that we went from a bartering system like millennia ago, to coins, which were too heavy, And then we were like, oh, let's use paper. And then we went paper. Now it's like almost plasticized paper. So because the papers were ripping and stuff, and they said, oh, let's get out of that. And there was fraud. It was easier. So then we went sort of like a digital. They also put some little digital inside the. So it makes sense that we go digital in the end, completely digital, because we don't.
And it
carry
makes sense
anything.
also that we get better, and safer, because I mean, think about it. You know, a signature, like as a proof of, you know, all these archaic, you know, a PIN number. You know, PIN numbers can get stolen. You know, you know, or even the other ones that now you can pay without even pressing your numbers on it. I mean, it's, you know, how easy is it to fraud someone? I mean, we have to find better ways to be able to pay. But bring up your point of, you're saying, is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? I think that's the misconception of crypto right now, is that, or right now for a long time, is that it's not one or the other. It's a new asset class. You know, it's like NASDAQ. It's a brand new asset class. And you know, in NASDAQ, there was they're all tech companies. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But they didn't all have the same use case. You know?
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And so, you know, for we're gonna get more into it like eventually, but I mean, yeah, sure. I don't see how it can happen, but I think really Bitcoin is the e-gold that they tried to create, right?
Okay. All right.
But that's a market. Is it the only market in the world, gold? Of course not, right? There's everything else. I mean, there's oil. I mean, there's you know, there's natural commodities. There's real estate. There's you know, you name it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay. All right.
then you have all these other coins, if you wish, that have different use cases. That's what it makes it so exciting.
So right now, I mean, the SEC is still in court with Ripple. I believe I don't think, but I mean, like, I know a month and a half ago, I haven't, honestly, like, I have not been active for about a month and a half, because ever since I went down to the PDAC Toronto convention, and then I caught that COVID had knocked me out for 3 weeks. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, like, whatever, I was, it would knock me on my ass. And those home tests, I just touched the inside of my cheek, and I just felt like I was going to hurl a million times. So I didn't even want to do it again. My wife dabbed it, and it was like, oh, positive. That's how quick. So I must have had a ton of sheddings. But you know, I don't know what's going on with that right now. Is the SEC we still haven't had a decision yet with Ripple? No way. So, I mean, like, look, if the SEC wins that case, that would make Ripple a securities.
Well, I mean, it's very ironic, the name, you know, it'd be a huge ripple effect on the cryptocurrency.
Didn't even think about that. It's so,
but seriously,
it's true though. It's true. You're right. It would be a massive ripple effect.
Well, there's two things. Well, three outcomes, right?
You can't make this up.
No, you can't. Sometimes
what are the chances?
Sorry for the bad jokes, people, but anyways,
it's true.
So either Ripple wins, right?
Yeah.
Either SEC wins,
or
out of course, you know.
Oh, out of court. I don't know if they could do that. Out of court agreement. That, you know, I mean, because it doesn't set a precedence, right? An out of court agreement.
Well, that's the whole point, right? So in Ripple's side,
it could do it.
I'm no lawyer, right? But I mean, if Ripple goes, you know, I'm fine, right? But the other guys, meh. You know, who cares? You know, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And the SEC won't go after me. And so that way it opens the door for the SEC to go after other people, right? Other coins. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, because Ripple's putting up a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
And if they
and it's just being pushed on and pushed on and pushed on. But
because
I think go ahead.
If it is settled, if that is, you know, the way settled out of court, it's true. It is a possibility. And then it's just because we'll never know, because it won't set a precedence. There'll be no jurisprudence to follow and stuff like that. And even like, I don't know what can make a change if they were to settle that out of court. I don't know how that would work. I mean, are we like too far gone in this because the people are going to want to know if it ends tomorrow and no one talks about it. The big heavy investors in Ripple, you know, that had it before the whole 2020 or 2019, the whole investigation thing, because there's a lot of stuff that went behind there. Like, was it because of this cryptocurrency and it was competing too much and it was picking up speed, and then it, you know, there's so much behind it. And then of course we're going to get into all this stuff, and there's Ethereum and all these other
Yeah.
things that we're talking about with blockchain and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
there's
don't
also the whole DeFi thing, by the way. That's another subject.
the whole DeFi thing, yeah, too. And
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't know if they could really get away with selling it out of court. I don't know if they could get away with that.
I don't know, but I'm if there's one place that they I'm not surprised at all that the government went after, it's Ripple, because I mean, as I said, it's an asset class, and everyone has, every coin has a different market. And Ripple's going for the big one. It's going for the Swift system.
Oh, I didn't, because listen, like I said,
yeah. So you're
the crypto guy. I know about it. Like I even bought, like, look, I'm not gonna hide it. Elon Musk has a book over here that he was reading. I saw him carrying it. I bought it on crypto, and I'm gonna get into it 100% to read the whole book and get on get on board. But I didn't know they were going after that.
Well, yeah, they're going between for the transactions between banks and
Oh, that's right.
They want to with their technology, they're saying it's more secure and it's going to cost a lot less for them to. So it's a huge market. It's gigantic as a market if they get into it. So the ramifications for the government are big.
This is crazy, because it is really a whole new world. Because
absolutely,
like if you really think about it, I mean, look at what's going on in the world right now, right? I mean, you and I, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and we're not going to get into details, but in general, all right, in general, when you look at everything that's going on in the world today, you have the US dollar that's being challenged on so many other parts, right? You have the euro. We had the euro and the US dollar on par like a month ago. All right.
99.9, whatever.
It's crazy.
Actually,
right?
beat it for like a second or something. It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? And then you got like China and Russia that are also like, it's being stated, it's being put out there, creating their own world currency. I mean, the BRICS, I think they were at their 15th, like 15th anniversary or something like that. So, a system that's being put in place, like not for very long, like 15 years, 2008 or something like that, let's just say. Pretty much that's something right where the crash is around that time, right? And the crash was felt in 2009, September 2009. Was felt mostly then. It takes about a year until people really start to suffer, I guess. But now we have like competing currencies, we have all this kind of stuff, and then you start putting all this crypto in action, right? You put this crypto in action, and you're like, wait a minute, how long would that take place? This is not gonna. One country did it, and I can't remember if it was India. I can't remember the country that decided overnight they were going digitization. The market crashed. I don't remember what country that was. I'd have to look that up.
Well, I know there's well, obviously El Salvador, they made the BTC legal tender.
That's right.
And then there's also Nigeria, that's digital money.
Okay, Nigeria. So I'm just gonna go and check here. What country made digital payments legal overnight? Let's just say, let's put it that way. Let's see what I come up with here. It's not, so maybe I'm not putting it up right, but there you go. Millions of Indians. It was India. It was India. So it was India. So you see, I do my research.
You're good. I
do my research. All right. So anyway, so it was India. So there you go. So the thing is, but supposedly it was a crash, was this, was that. So naturally, looking at them, you're like, okay, we can't go that way, right? So they would have to take 10 to 15 to 20, like they would have to take time to put this in. So with the SEC, with Ripple, you have all these world currencies going on, maybe, my God, it's true that if a digital currency like Ripple were to be challenging that kind of system, I mean, would a country be in charge? I know the whole idea of crypto is that no one's in charge and it's decentralized and all that. But I mean, when in history, Al, when in history have you ever heard of a dominating power not have control over their own money?
Oh, it's impossible, and it's not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying, right?
No. As long as you have, as long as the country holds the guns and the tanks and whatnot, they're always gonna be able to do what they want, right? Until they lose control of that. But
So we're looking at like the possibility, of maybe some kind of, because we don't look. I'm going to use the word archaic. I'm going to use the word archaic, right? But archaic could be in anything, right? It doesn't necessarily mean an all blown out world war. It doesn't. It could be archaic just in the financial systems. They could be archaic in any kind of system that would, that would force a new revolutionary change to come about. Anyways, like any kind of pandemics, something changes. Like even in the Great Reset, it says that out of all pandemics, something else emerges or whatever. So, man, it could be some kind of archaic situations that happens in the financial system, which we might be watching right now going on and not even realize it, right?
I think it actually did start in 08.
Yeah, in a way, it sort of did, right?
Yeah.
Because we have like these emerging class assets that you're talking about. Then we have like all these currencies competing with each other.
Yeah.
We have the US and the euro like on par for like, it hasn't been like that for like how many years? 40 years was it that they said, or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was like beginning of 2000s or something like that.
That would
because
be
the euro isn't like that old. Isn't 40
You're correct.
Years.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it must have been 20 years. Yes, that's right. It's very, very true. It's not that old. Yeah. Anyways,
but but if you look at history, I mean, currency wise, there's always a certain amount. There's always a dominant, currency. And it's around 40, 30-ish, or I forget exactly, but right now 50 years around for a US dollar, and we're due for something else. That's for sure. So but before that, it was the British pound, which was the dominant powerhouse. They had Spain or France and whatnot.
Austria,
but
probably Austria or Byzantine Empire. Then you had the Roman Empire before that, and Persian Empire. No matter how far back we go, you could find coins of that. That was the empire that dominated militarily.
Yeah.
At the same time as that then became the world currency,
and
which is no different than USA after World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing.
So we you never know. I mean, there's another thing that's saying a lot of people are saying World War I, all the changes and the economic changes that happened after was it because of World War I, or was it because of the pandemic that hit right after World War I? Right after that, there's a huge market crash, and then there was a lot of economic instability, and then came out these extremist dictators from World War II. So true. What does the future hold? Now we had or still have, I don't know, pandemic like 100 years ago. Everything's cyclical. Some cycles are longer, some cycles are shorter. So who knows? I mean, but one thing's for sure, 100% we're overdue for a new money system.
You know what?
And that's where the crypto comes in. And
you know what? I think on that, maybe, unless you have other things to say, we could probably end up on that, because since we're sort of introducing the whole mindset, like, look, we have history dominating empires, and how money, that monetary system then followed, whether it didn't matter which empire it was. You had but now you have this kind of, scenario that's going on. We have competing currencies, and you have a new asset class coming up. Then you have the whole bartering system. Like, we really went over all these different reasons why a digital asset is the logical thing for the future. Because Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, okay, Al, all right, I hate's a strong word, but I hate that my pants get pulled down because I have a lot of quarters and stuff inside my pocket. You know what I mean? I hate going and pulling up I don't want coins in my pockets, man. I don't want it. Even in my car. Like,
even paper.
Oh yeah, but I hate coins, because in your car you have coins that, like, your 10 cents and pennies that accumulate like in your center console. Or it drops where your cups are, and if a coffee spills over a little bit, you gotta clean it out. It's all nasty and stuff. I like, look, I'm gonna be 50 years old this year. I'm ready for completely eliminating coins. Like, get rid of all the coins. let's not have coins anymore. All right.
Yeah.
Like we don't need it. We're already rounding out the pennies in Canada, right? The 5 cents and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, look, with my phone, I tap with my phone. You know what I mean? I pay everything with my phone. There's not one thing I don't pay. I use my wallet, my phone. I go to McDonald's. You could pre-order your stuff at McDonald's and it just paid. You just go past the pay window. You don't even have to use the pay window anymore. You know what I mean? You just say, okay, this is the orders for, you know, for Albert, or you say the code. You just pass by the window. Like I was even telling that to my wife. I'm like, even at McDonald's, you don't need a cashier anymore.
No.
You just don't. Yeah. Like we are eliminating, and according to like the book that I'm reading with the Klaus Schwab, we can go 70% or something like that, like into autonomous right now, but it would just destroy some, like, I don't know if we want to use civilization or whatever, as it's a big word, but people would be on unemployment. So it has to be gradual.
Well, they call it constructive destruction.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you 100%.
But you can't destroy it. It has to be constructive. It cannot be only destructive.
That's correct. That's right.
So there's like a fine line you have to walk.
So we have to figure out crypto and blockchain, and then eventually NFTs and metaverse. And we should be talking like maybe like, what is Bitcoin? What is Ripple? What is Ethereum? Yeah. What is, I don't know, the graph, for example? Why is, you know, why is this one different than the other? What makes this one unique? You know, and all this kind of stuff. And I think that that's great, because if we go through, you know, people watching this today as an intro to knowing that we are actually going to do that, we are going to go through all the coins. We're going to talk about them, even if we have to use Wikipedia, it doesn't matter. We are going to talk about them all. We are going to learn, educate ourselves, and we are going to do a nice show. And then we'll go on to NFTs and we'll go on the metaverse. So I think that, you know, people that are following this, they should be telling their friends about it. You know, Betweenplays Crypto with Alex. And yeah, they're going to have a great time learning over here. And, you know, eventually we'll go live where people can text us and say, hey, I got a question for you. You know, what about this? Or I don't agree with you, or this is crazy. I think it's
perfect. That's perfect. By the way, I have to say, Albert, I hope you haven't forgotten, but back in the day, a long time ago,
all right,
the whole metaverse thing, you actually talked to me about it. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, in 2000 and probably.
And you said this is going to be the big thing. It's going to be, and everything that's going on, you basically were right on it.
Well, and I know
a crypto guy than you think.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about, and I know what you're talking about. So, and the reason why is because I wanted to create. And I, you know, and if anybody wants to steal this out there, like I sent it to myself. I poor manned my idea to me in 2010 or something like that.
Oh, I think it was before that.
Yeah, probably. But it was an avatar system.
Yeah,
an avatar system for shopping.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like the metaverse.
Yeah, it was, and there's a lot of stuff I don't really want to. Maybe I should.
No. But I'm just saying. About
maybe. But yeah, because. You know, I think that I think as you get older, I think you sort of say to yourself, I'm comfortable. If it stays like this for the next 30 years, I'm good, you know, because I live out my lifespan and whatever. And you don't want certain things to happen because it's going to disrupt your life, right? So when you're younger, you have all these ideas and you want to, you expand your horizons, stuff like that. So I think that, you know, I don't think that's really me, like per se, like, look, or else I wouldn't have created this and stuff like that. But I can understand older people that might not want all of this new stuff out, because I still see old people at Walmart and stuff. Not just Walmart, but just because I go to Walmart to get some stuff there. It's just, God, with the kids, it's just easier, right? And I see old people still paying and counting their pennies and dimes. Like they open up their little bags, and they and a purse changes there. They all have purse changes. But I think that we have, well, look, Al, you and I talk about so much. We've been talking about like things that, God, we've been talking about things that, 20 years ago that people can never even imagine. And then all of a sudden it's just a normal day-to-day thing today.
That's scary though, when you think about it. But anyways.
Well, that's just because we read a lot, right? We read a lot. We're on the internet a lot. And like you said, you grew up with the internet, and in 1995, I had my computer in 1995. I was on the internet. I remember when I was able to get onto the internet when it was like public, like you could use it, like the big launch. Yeah. And I'll never forget that I didn't have a computer then, but my girlfriend back in that time, all right, that I was dating back then, her dad was huge in robotics. And he had an Apple, like the old Apple ones there, that was built around in the Mac. He had a big Apple one there. And as soon as it went on, he was online immediately because he had to be connected to the United States and certain things in the car industry. And I remember having the internet immediately right there at my disposal. And it was funny because like just pages, like it was just like, it was like you were, it looked like, when people go to I don't know if people notice anymore, micro lenses, microfishes, like, when you take it, like you take these little, like a black and white camera film, and then you put it underneath a lamp, so you can see it. It was really like that in 1995. It was like, what the hell? And it looked like people just like photocopying pages of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that us growing up with the internet, we can sort of see where it was.
Yeah, the evolution, absolutely, 100%.
Evolution. And absolutely. Then why wouldn't it go there, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be the next step?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we're going to talk about it more, but right now we're like in 2001, 2002 for crypto.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. 100%. And then you add the metaverse world in there.
That's another thing. That's later on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, so you know what, Al? Thank you so much for coming on today. And look, we'll be doing this probably every Monday or Tuesday, but we'll be doing it once a week for sure. So everyone, this is Between Plays, Crypto with Alex. Thanks a lot, Al. And to everybody out there, we're going to be doing, we've got John Kaiser coming up in August, John Kaiser coming up again in September. Listen, if anybody knows, we're going to have Sandeep for IT. It's going to be really interesting. Of course, a lot of CEOs coming on and talking. And we might have Alain from Bid Capital also coming on here and talking. So look, we're just getting bigger. We're growing and we're growing. Alex, thank you so much for being here today. And that's it for us. So we're out.
Thank you.
Hello to everyone out there. Just taking 2 seconds of your time and asking you to hit the subscribe and the like button. I'd like to also direct you to betweenplays.com, www.betweenplays.com, where we put up many different articles, and go to our Twitter account for like really quick information at BetweenPlays1. As we say here, our motto: research, prepare, plan, execute. Always do your due diligence, and stay strong, everybody. Stay strong.